Coach, just first off, I know it was a tough week last week with Coach Clark. Just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on Coach Clark and just your feelings about him.
Yeah, anytime you're going something like this, Sean and his family, our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. Deanna and Braxton. So they're working through some stuff. He's obviously fighting. He's a fighter. Coach Clark is that. We're taking things day by day, and there's a lot more important things in football and things that he's working through. I know his family has a positive attitude. He has a positive attitude. So, I'd like to get into that much because there's just a lot that I don't know, but it's tough because Coach Clark's really good dude. We're all close with him, good person, and one thing that I know about him is he's a fighter, and he'll work through the issues that he needs to work through.
So on that note, I know the last week that was going on, but in the bye week, what did you work on? What areas did you identify after the first two that needed a point of emphasis during the bye week?
Yeah, we really went old school, back to base fundamentals. A lot of blocking, lower pad level was point of emphasis after the first two games. The fundamentals of blocking the perimeter, just play pitch and catch. So it really went back to like install one, day one. We had a couple good days of just playing football and not too worried about anything other than ourselves. So that was good.
Steve, going back to Coach Clark, and what have you seen from the offensive line group? I mean, obviously it's got to be hard. It's hard for everyone, but for them personally to have to lose their coach this way, what has been their attitude? What have you guys done maybe to kind of build some, keep everyone, up with everything going on that's happened last
week?
week?
It's kind of like what Coach Frost preaches on a day-to-day basis. It's all about resiliency. And the good thing about playing this game, playing football, is it allows you to compartmentalize what's going on outside the world. So for our players, it's been different for sure. And what I'm impressed by from our team is the resilience that they've shown, their ability to come out and put things that are really important, obviously, to the side so we can get done the work that we need to get done. And then go back to, giving our thoughts and prayers to Coach Clark and his family.
Go through a tragedy like that throughout the week, then the optics of a big game on Saturday, national TV, opportunity to improve to 3-0. How do you think your team will respond to adversity?
They've shown resiliency. Just thinking about the first two games, obviously it's very different and way smaller scale. But we've had two schedules kind of get torn up because of weather, and our guys were really resilient in those situations. And I'm not surprised. I know they're going to be able to compartmentalize what they need to and go play football. So I think our guys are excited for the opportunity to play, in particular up front on the offensive line, maybe a little bit extra in new motivation. But at the same time, I think that just comes back to what Coach Frost preaches all the time, resiliency.
What are the optics of this game to you?
Just to be honest, every week is a new opportunity, so this is game 3.
When you're missing a coach, what do the logistics look like? You have Alex there to help, but if you had to get more hands-on, or how have you worked it?
Yeah, it's Coach Farrah, so Alex, call him Coach Bear. I had to ask him before, how do you pronounce your last name? Because I just call him Coach Bear, and he is Coach Clark's handpicked assistant. I think his title is Assistant Offensive Line Analyst, and he works hand in hand with Coach Clark, and he's done a tremendous job of taking the load over. And then where we've been able to help him is like maybe myself or Coach Frost will get involved with the drill. The rest of our quality control assistant coach has done a good job of picking up some of the slack because Coach Bear is really responsible for a lot of things that goes into the prep for what practice looks like in the game plan too. And he's just he's taking on extra obligations, and he's done a tremendous job with that. He's a pro. He's a guy that's coached his own room before, so this is nothing new to him in regards to running a room. The bigger issue is just you almost have 20 offensive linemen, and he only has one set of eyeballs. So to your point, we're trying to in the meantime try to get some of the other staff just a little bit more involved with some of the drills. But he's doing a great job with those guys.
How important is that continuity of having him be a part of it?
Yeah, it's a big part. Like nothing's changed in relationship to what we're teaching and what Coach Bear teaches. He obviously worked with Coach Clark all the way back at App State, so they're very familiar. They teach a lot of the same fundamentals. So it's really like nothing's changed from that standpoint. It's just losing a set of eyeballs is a tough thing, and we're working through it.
What's the status of game, and what's the likelihood that we see more than one quarterback going into this game?
Well, it's good to have Cam back in practice, and so in regards to what his where he's going to be at on Saturday, I don't know that yet. I don't like to talk about injuries, but it is good to see him out there in practice, and the rest of the guys running around with a little bit of rest from bye week, because you get to this point in the season. I know it's relatively early, but coming off of fall camp, all the stuff they did in the summer and playing a couple games, there's nicks and bruises everywhere. It's good to see the three quarterbacks out there taking reps.
Yeah, the competition goes through fall camp. Do you reevaluate and reopen the competition as both guys are back now and having played a couple of games? Does it change a little bit of the dynamics of what that position looks like going forward the rest of the way?
One of the great things about the offense right now is there's a good amount of depth everywhere. We still have youth and we still have some inexperience that we're working through. Having 2 games under our belt, you start to see the confidence of a lot of those guys, not just talking about the quarterbacks, but all positions. Across the board on offense, the competition is a really good thing because it's going to bring out the best in most people. And we say that every day with the quarterbacks. And it's a healthy competition because all 3 of those guys, not just the 3, all the guys in the quarterback room, they really care about each other, to help each other. So in relationship to us continuing to evaluate the position, yeah, absolutely true. Now we have game film to back it up, to really say, okay, this is a guy that was able to move the ball and making decisions. And I think all the quarterbacks that have got in have done a nice job of that. And then obviously there's things that they want to go back and make corrections on. And Tate played pretty good against North Carolina A&T, and then his opportunity to play against Jack State, he did a good job. And Cam had some pretty good moments too before he got hurt. So we have to weigh on and measure all those things in relationship to what's best for not just the offense but the team. So that process is ongoing.
In regards to Taven Jackson, what have you seen from him? Like, how would you evaluate his 2 games out there and just how he's kind of attacked everything else, just practice and prep and film study and all that stuff?
Yeah, and he's really been locking in. He's been coming in and watching extra tape, so he's fired up about that. He's not the only one. All the quarterbacks do it. But just the sense of urgency for all those guys to get the game plan down, to get up in the morning and be ready to go. Because we practice in the morning, so you got to get yourself ready to go. All the prep that goes into practice. And he's done a tremendous job of that the last couple of weeks of just really being the quarterback, being the guy that's going to do the extra studying and get ready to go. And that's, again, it's not just Tate, that's all the guys. So excited to see that.
Specifically for Taven, he faced Steve Belichick's defense last year against Washington. Have you talked to him about kind of what he saw in that game, and does that experience hold some sort of value to you as far as this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's going to be a lot of similarities that carry over from last year to this year. It's a different team. They're not exactly the same as they were at Washington, although there's going to be some reoccurring themes. And definitely picked Tate's brain earlier in the week. In fact, we had a conversation about that defense in that game quite a bit over the course of the time he's been here too. So, yeah, I think that experience counts. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same. And if you know anything about the Belichick system, you're going to see something one week and then they're going to run something else the next week. If we were playing 3 times, it might be 3 different game plans. I don't know that for sure, but yeah, certainly I think the experience counts for something.
What kind of in-game challenges could Coach Belichick's system pose you?
Well, I just say the one thing that they do a really good job of mixing the pictures. They multiple personnels, just different groupings on defense, and there's no real tendencies in relationship to, okay, where are they going to line up, what coverage are they going to play, what fronts are they going to be in, what's the blitz. So they do a good job of hiding their tendencies and percentages. And listen, we only really have 3 games on in the first place, so we go back and look at all the stuff that they did, previous times, whether it be at the Patriots or be, Steve at Washington, and it's not as good as the tape that we have from the last 3 games. But as important as those things are, it's really more about us. What we've really honed in this week and continuation from the bye week is letting it be about us. That's what we need to be. We need to be on the fundamentals that we've worked on during the bye week, low pad level, understanding our scheme, communicating things up front. There's going to be some different fronts, so up front we need to be able to do a good job of IDing what the defense they are in so that we can communicate down the chain what we need to get done to execute the play.
Coach Belichick's experience obviously comes at the NFL, the pro levels. Coach Frost had spent some time at the pro level as well. How have you seen the pro game begin to influence the college game a little bit? I know there's obviously some back and forth between the 2 levels of the game, but how's the pro game influenced the college game?
Yeah, well, welcome to 2025. Everyone's got Twitter. We've got a thing called PFF now, so every play that you ever see watching the games, you can get 4 games up at once on your YouTube TV at home. So there's a lot more information being spread around. So I think it's not like it's not like there was never any like connection from the NFL to college football. It's still about blocking and tackling. It's just there's a lot more access to scheme. In a lot of ways, that can almost be a hindrance more than it can be help, because then you try to do too much. But that's been going on for years. I mean, you can throw the high school level in there too. Sometimes the high school is going to influence the college game more than the NFL game is going to influence the college game, and vice versa. So you see it. It's it's day in, day out. You're going to see something on Sundays. It's going to show up the next week on Saturdays. It's a back and forth.
Two more.
Coach, you talked on the confidence building up, especially in that quarterback room. Now, no matter who starts, there is sort of pressure going into a nationally televised game like this. What are the conversations like with the guys to keep that down?
It's another game, at least as a staff, we don't try to make too much more of playing North Carolina A&T than North Carolina. I get it, there's probably going to be more people in the stands and all those things, but that's stuff for other people to worry about. We're just worried about what's going on in our offices and our meeting room and what's going on in the practice field. So I think the guys are going to be excited to play Saturday because they had a bye week last week. We didn't get an opportunity to play, and now it's our turn to play, so we're excited and ready to go.
Going into this week, obviously we saw explosion of Jaden Nixon last week. How important is it for you guys to have two running backs that are explosive and can get the ball and make plays at any time?
Yeah, to piggyback on your point, how important is it to have depth at the running back position? I think it's super critical at that position because that's the easiest guy to get the ball to. You just hand it to him. But the issue, I think I said this in the summer, I mean, when you're carrying the football, 10, 15 plus times a game, you're getting tackled, so you got a higher chance of getting dinged up a little bit. So when you can spread the carries out, that helps a lot in relationship to keeping everyone upright and healthy for the course of the season. And it's really good to see Nixon have the explosive plays that he had in this last game. That helps confidence. And nobody's more excited about that than Miles Montgomery. You just look at the sideline, watch who's the first guy to celebrate with them. And then the same thing goes when Miles has success. The most excited guy is Nixon. So a really, really cool group of dudes, and excited to watch those guys continue to play off each other.
All set? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.